DreamWorks presents Spirit Untamed, the movie novelization.
I'm Lucky, and today you'll hear my story.
Chapter 1. Lucky Prescott sat on the windowsill of her bedroom at the Prescott mansion, where she'd lived with her grandpa and Aunt Cora for the past 10 years. She looked through old family photographs, lingering on one of her mother that was taken at the rodeo arena out west in Miradero. Her mother, Milagro, true to her name, had been a miracle on a horse. Despite all the years gone by, Lucky still felt sad when she thought about her mother. Lucky flipped to the next photograph, her favorite. Her mother and Jim Prescott, Lucky's father, stood by baby Lucky, who sat on a swing in the backyard of their cozy old house. They'd all looked so happy before everything changed. Lucky swung one of her legs out the window and shelled peanuts, piling them nearby for Bob, her lone friend at Prescott Mansion. Her friend sniffed at the snacks from a distance.
Come on, who's a good squirrel? Come on. They're your favorite.
Fortuna Esperanza Navarro Prescott. Lucky, where are you?
Said Aunt Cora.
Lucky, proper ladies do not hang out of window ledges.
Proper ladies also get to go to amazing fun parties.
This is a bit more important than an amazing fun party. Do I need to remind you of what happened at the last event?
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes? Indeed. You're not missing anything. Besides...
Cake, other kids, fun.
Lucky.
An elephant? Come on!
I know it's hard to understand. Part of being a Prescott is not always having what you want, but doing what's best for the family. Now, come down from there and finish your math lesson. If this new tutor of yours has one more nervous breakdown.
If a train traveling 25 miles per hour leaves a station at 8 a.m., when will I ever need to know this?
Cora,
Said Grandpa Prescott.
Cora, I need your help. I am having a necktie emergency.
Nothing we can't fix. Here.
Oh, no, too tight. Oh, just think of it. From railroad baron to governor. And why? Because Prescott's never give up.
Lucky might as well have been in a cage. She looked out the window again with longing. Fancy carriages came and went, dropping even more guests off at the front door of the Prescott mansion. Grandpa and Aunt Cora stood at the entrance, looking as formal and poised as ever. They welcomed each of their guests to the Prescott for Governor campaign event. Lucky opened her book and tried to focus on her math problem. Except...
Hello, Bob. So nice of you to return, sir. Bob, no! We talked about this. You're betraying my trust. No, Bob! Not out the door. Uh-oh. Cora's gonna kill me. Come back! Come back, Bob! Come back!
But Bob did not stop. He dodged Lucky and scampered over to a pulley, holding Grandpa's official campaign portrait. Bob ran up the pulley rope. Lucky lunged for him, grabbed onto the rope, and swung out like a trapeze performer. She grazed the portrait, accidentally tearing it on contact.
Whoops! Sorry, Grandpa.
Lucky didn't let go. Bob was just a few inches away. Still upside down, she grabbed an ice bucket from the table, ready to catch him. Lucky turned to see Grandpa, Aunt Cora, and a group of his esteemed guests standing in the doorway. The floor-length curtains behind her erupted into flames from a candle she had knocked over. The kitchen staff rushed into the room with pots full of water to put out the fire. She was really in trouble now.
Mistakes were made.
Before Grandpa could say a word, His portrait came crashing down in front of him. Bob the squirrel came flying from across the room. Splat! He landed right on Grandpa's face.
Get it off!
With a click and a flash, a photographer captured the moment in an instant. Lucky hoped this would soon be no more than another memory to add to her collection of family photographs. Chapter 2. Lucky sat across from Aunt Cora. She listened to the chug-chug of the Prescott Express train and glanced out the window at the sun-drenched sky. A first-class cabin afforded them privacy, but Aunt Cora didn't look up for talking. Instead, she stared at the newspaper in horror. The headline on the front page read, "Should Prescott give up?" They'd published the photo of the squirrel plastered on Grandpa's face across the spread.
Front page is good, right? I mean, if anyone can pull off a squirrel on his face, it's Grandpa. He'll speak to us again eventually, right? Once, his face heals. Yeah?
Grandpa just needs some peace and quiet to get his campaign back on track. We can go home at the end of summer. The mansion is still somewhat underwater, along with most of my fondest childhood memories.
I said I was sorry.
Lucky, get your feet down from the seat, please. We may be spending the summer in the wilderness, but we are not wild animals.
What's it even like in Miradero?
Miradero.
What am I supposed to call him?
Well, you can call him Dad, or Father, or Jim.
Jim. Hello, Jim. How have the last 10 years been?
Oh, honey, it wasn't easy for him after your mom died. Something broke in your father, and he...
But why didn't he come with me?
Sweetheart, he was alone in the wilderness with a baby. He did what he thought. Well, what we all thought was best. Anyway, the dining car closes in 5 minutes. I believe it is time for some tea. Don't move.
With no Aunt Cora there to chastise her, Lucky opened the window. Despite the barrenness of it all, there was something alluring about the landscape. Lucky stuck her head out and took a deep breath. The wind pulled the blue bow right out of her hair, beyond the reach of her hands. Her eyes followed the ribbon as it got lost in the breeze. That's when she saw him. A buckskin-colored Mustang with a black mane galloped close to the train, running parallel to the tracks. Every so often, he was partially obscured by the rocky hills that came into view. Lucky was mesmerized. She had never seen anything with such strength and power. The majestic creature raced unfettered across the open plain. He wasn't racing them. He was racing himself with the abandon of something truly free.
Look at you!
Then, she heard the rumble of dozens of hoofs. An entire herd of wild horses appeared in the distance, following the Mustang.
Whoa, so many wild horses!
The alpha horse caught up with the train. He was now outside Lucky's window, looking right at her. The proximity of the horse awakened something inside Lucky, and she laughed in amazement. Lucky needed to see more. She bolted down the corridor, drawing Aunt Cora's attention in the dining car as she knocked over more passengers. She had to reach the back of the train before it was too late.
Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey, why'd you hit me, Handlebar? You know I have trouble sleeping.
Over there? Get your elbow out of my face, horseshoe.
Boss, he's bothering me again.
I said excuse me. I don't have time for this.
Lucky shifted her gaze to the horse and took off again. She was out of breath, but she kept going. She didn't want to say goodbye to the horse just yet. If she couldn't continue through the train, she would just have to go around the outside of it. Lucky climbed onto the side of the train, the wind whipping around at 25 miles per hour. At least, that's what her math problem had said. It felt much faster than that. Lucky couldn't help thinking that this was probably what being in a tornado felt like. She held on to the train tight and locked eyes with the horse. He was close enough to touch now. Lucky sidestepped the length of the train car, jumping onto the platform and through the door of the next car to close the gap between her and the magnificent horse. She bolted down the corridor, knocking over more passengers in her haste to reach the back of the train before it was too late. Lucky finally made it to the caboose and moved through it to the very back end of the train while holding tightly to the railings. She looked up and saw the herd of horses led by the Mustang running closely behind the train. She leaned over the railing and reached for the horse. She stretched her fingertips as far as they would go. She was eye to eye with the horse now, their eyes connected. Was this what freedom felt like?
Well, hey, whoa! Watch yourself there, princess. You make someone real unhappy if you go diving overboard like that. You best just be staying away from them wild horses, all right?
Lucky, there you are. You're going to be the end of me. I'm much obliged, Mr.
Name's Hendricks, ma'am.
Chapter 3. The train whistled, announcing their arrival at their destination. Aunt Cora stood, opened their cabin door, and looked at Lucky.
Just remember, be yourself. Be your best self. Be the you that doesn't start fires. I'm too young for gray hair. But hey, don't worry. Your father is really looking forward to seeing you, and I bet you the summer will go by much faster than you think. Oh, how rustic. Ugh, what's that smell? These animals spit? Ugh, how improper.
Don't worry, Aunt Cora. I bet the summer will go by faster than you think.
Very funny.
Do you think he's around here? Are we even in the right place?
Yes, unfortunately. I'll go check if he's in his office. Don't move until I get back. I mean it.
Stay out of trouble now, princess. Change your plans, boys. We ran out of money. Now listen up. I saw some horses from the train that'll buy us our next ticket out of here. Now get going. We'll earn that bacon.
The train slowly pulled away from the station, revealing a small arena on the other side. The large sign at its entrance read, Miradero Rodeo. Lucky walked toward it, completely forgetting Aunt Cora's explicit instructions not to move. It wasn't at all like back home. For one, there were people here who looked like Lucky and Milagro. The people around her were all shades of colors. Many of them sprinkled Spanish into their English, or maybe it was English into their Spanish. Lucky turned and turned, taking in a world so different from the one back home. At last, she stopped and focused on the ring in the center of the arena. A group of women with varying shades of brown skin and dark hair made their way to the center of the ring atop stallions. They wore beautiful ruffled shirts hemmed with colorful ribbons, accented by purple woven silk sashes. Lucky was mesmerized. The horsewomen and their stallions began to trot to the music. They picked up speed and wove intricate patterns through one another. Far too soon, the show ended and the crowd burst into cheers. One of the horses, Valentina, came to an abrupt stop in front of Lucky.
Whoa!
Fortuna?
Hola. Buenos dias.
Of course you wouldn't remember me. I am Valentina. Oh, you look just like your mother. Bienvenida, Fortuna.
Wait, you knew my mother?
Here, your mother will want you to have one of these sashes. She had one just like it. Welcome home, mija.
A well-postured girl with long braided hair and skin the same rich shade as the announcer rode past the crowd on a breathtaking palomino. The rider looked to be about Lucky's age. She wove through the crowd in the direction of the ring, tracking the girl atop her horse. The announcer called the girl Prue and the horse Chica Linda. They speed walked backward with remarkable precision, stopping on a dime. Chica Linda balanced on one hoof. The pair spun like a toy top, dizzying the audience into another round of applause. The crowd loved it. Prue and Chica Linda pranced to the center of the ring and took a bow.
Fortuna Esperanza Navarro Prescott, you get back here.
Cora, you have to see this. Look at those amazing women riding the horses. One of them gave me the sash.
Unbelievable, Lucky. Stranding us at the station like common vagabonds. I need a strong cup of tea. And to burn this dress.
Cora, did you ever see my mom perform?
Yes, she was fearless. Now let's head down the road to the house. Come on.